Hello everyone. This is Brother Benson and I'm joined with Miguda. Miguda, habari gani?
Niko salama kakangu, niko vyema jioni yangu. Na wewe kwako uko vipi?
Mimi niko vizuri. Sijaona mabaya.
Hiyo ni jambo njema nikisikia kwako kama hujaona mabaya.
Unajua kuna jambo kitu niliona katika mtandao na ilinishangaza sana. Na sijui kulikuwa na mchuano ambao ilikuwa inaendelea kati ya Kenya na Somali. Na nikaona vijana wa Somali, siseme hivyo labda, walikuwa wanachukua bendera ya Kenya, wanaikanyagia chini. Na ni kama walikuwa wanaifanya kidharau fulani. Na unajua bendera ina umuhimu kwa nchi. Ukiona mtu anadhalilisha bendera ya nchi yako, si kitu vyema. We labda sijui kama wewe ulikutana na hiyo picha katika mtandao.
Yaani kweli nilikutana na picha kama hiyo. Ningependa kusema wakati hao wa Somali walikuwa na dharauliwa nchi yetu Kenya. Kumbuka wa Somali wako hapa Kenya na pia wao wako na uraia ya Kenya, wengi wao. Ndiposa tuko na hata eneo gatuzi kama Garissa, Moyale, Wajir, Mandera. Unapata wengi wao, idadi kubwa ni wa Somali. Hata ukienda katika jiji la Nairobi hapo Eastleigh, wao ndio wako wengi huko, na pia hata mbunge wa huko Kamkunji ni mmoja wao. Na isitoshe unapata pia hata eneo la Nyanza pale Ujaluo kuna mbunge mmoja anaitwa Junet, bado ni Msomali. Katika ukiangalia ukoo yao vizuri ni wa Somali. Sasa unapata hawa Somali hakuna, mimi sijaona pahali ukienda huko Somaliland utapata kuna eneo ya Wakenya ama kuna Wakenya walikimbia wakaenda huko. Sasa wakati unadharau nchi ambayo ilisaidia marafiki zenu, mandugu zenu, dada zenu kupata uraia, sasa hiyo si cha busara. Kwa mfano unapata pengine hii nchi ambayo unadharulia unakanyaga flag yao. Pengine siku moja hiyo nchi inaweza kupatia uraia wako. Juu unajua historia ya Somali, tumekuwa na historia ya vita hapo Somali, na pia unapata wengi wao wakishafika huku nchini hakuna mtu yeyote anataka kurudi huko ama kurejelea huko kwao. Sasa wakati unakanyagia bendera ya nchi ambayo imepatia wenzako uraia, si jambo nzuri. Lakini ningependa kusema hivi, sisi kama Wakenya, kati ya hiyo mchuano kuna vile tunafaa kutumia busara wakati tunabishana nao wa Somali. Unapata Wakenya ni watu ambao, ningesema tu Kenya ni nchi ya uhuru, na Kenya ni nchi ambayo impatia kila mtu nafasi ya kuishi, nafasi ya kutembea. Kama umefuata zile masharti na sheria, uko na uhuru kabisa. Ndipo sasa tunasema hiyo uhuru tunafaa tu kama sisi wa Kenya tuisisitize, tusiige mfano ya wale vijana kutoka Somali.
Asante. Unajua saa zingine labda hawana historia la bendera letu, na tuseme hata na rangi ambazo zimo kule kwa hilo kitambaa. Unaweza ona kama ni kitambaa, lakini ina umuhimu mkubwa sana katika Kenya na ina historia kubwa. Na mi nataka tu kuwapatia mfano. Juzi tukiona wale mashujaa wanawake ambao walifanya kazi mzuri sana wakati walikuwa pale Tokyo wakikuwa wanakimbia wakapata ushindi. Uliona kwamba bendera ndiyo ilikuwa kitambaa chao ambao walikuwa wanajifunika nao na walikuwa wanaipeperusha. Inamaanisha kuwa kwanza wanathamani hiyo nchi kwa kuwapatia nafasi. Unaona? So labda ni vijana wadogo bado hawajaelewa umuhimu wa bendera kwa nchi yetu ya Kenya. Labda kwao inaweza kuwa haina thamani, lakini sisi kama Wakenya tunaamini. Hiyo ni la kwanza. La pili, na kutaka tu kurejesha tu nyuma kidogo, wakati wale vijana wa kizazi kipi ambao walikufa wakati wa maandamano, uliona kuwa wakati ambapo walikuwa wanapatia simu zao za mwisho, bendera lilikuwa limewekwa pale. Na ilikuwa inaonyesha kuwa hawa waliaga ama walipoteza maisha yao. Kuna jambo ambalo labda walikuwa wanapigania, ama si labda, kwa kweli kuna jambo ambalo walikuwa wanapigania. kwa kupigania hayo wakakutana na mauti, ambapo sasa unapata kwamba walikuwa wanapatiwa heshima na bendera. So labda hao wajui, lakini pia wanafaa wapatiwe somo kidogo tu, wasirudie, kwa sababu si jambo mzuri. Pia bendera la Kenya ni kitambaa, ina umuhimu, tena inaunganisha jamii, inatuunganisha kama Wakenya, na ndio maana unapata Wakenya wengi, hata ukitembelea nchi za ughaibuni utapata wako na zile armrest, unapata iko na bendera ya Kenya, yani wanaitangaza, wanafurahia kuwa wenyeji wa Kenya, wenyeji wa Kenya, na hiyo bendera ndio inaonyesha kwamba huyu ni Mkenya, ambapo hata mtu akikuona atasema huyu ni Mkenya, si kwa jina lako tu, lakini kwa ile rangi za bendera ambao umeweka katika ile nasema kwamba mkono wako. So hao mavijana walitukosea heshima kama nchi, na inafaa wafundishwe. Siku moja labda wakitutembelea tutawaambia bana, si mzuri. Wacha nichukue nafasi hii kusalimia Laban Misiani, asante sana kujiunga na sisi. Judith pia asante sana, pia naona Brendo Bedi pia nawashukuru sana kwa kujiunga na sisi. Labda mtuambie mnaendelea aje, siku yenu imekuwa aje, na jioni yenu pia iko vipi? Miguda, hao ndio naweza sema, labda kama uko na jambo la kuongeza.
Asante sana kwa kupata hiyo nafasi. Juu umeleta mjadala nzuri sana. Wakati umejaribu kupeana maoni yako, kuna vile umetoa maoni mazuri sana, na pia umeizungumzia kwa njia pana. Ningependa kusema ya kwamba unapata sisi kama Wakenya tuna sababu ya kuwa na hiyo bendera. Hiyo bendera kuna sababu ya kuwa na, juu umepata kama katika bendera letu kuna rangi tofauti tofauti. Unapata kuna nyekundu hapo, unapata kuna wale mashujaa ambao walipigania nchi yetu ili tupate uhuru. Hata katika katiba letu ya Kenya au mashujaa wametambulika ya kwamba tunaheshimu wale mashujaa ambao walitupigania sisi kama Wakenya tupate uhuru. Pale unapata kuna rangi nyeusi ambayo imetambua sisi kama wananchi. Ndipo tunasema kwamba sisi kama Wakenya, sisi ndio tuko na nguvu zaidi hata kuliko katiba. Sasa tunaheshimu sisi kama Wakenya wale watu weusi wa Afrika. Na unapata kuna ile rangi ya majani ambayo inazungumzia mazingira. Na hata hapo kwa mazingira unapata katika katiba letu katika kipengela cha 42 na mazingira inazungumzia vile sisi watu ambao tumetunza mazingira. Hata katika wizara yetu tunapata kuna yule waziri wa mazingira, na isitoshe unapata tunazungumzia mambo ya mazingira na mambo ya mashamba katika nchi. Sasa ni sisi tunaheshimu mazingira na pia tunaheshimu mashamba zetu. Sasa unapata wale vijana pengine historia yao hawana sababu ama hawana zile maana za bendera yao. Alafu unapata sisi pia tunaheshimu bendera yetu. Hata wakati ukipata bendera imeanguka chini, ukitembea unapata wakati tulikuwa tunasherehekea zile mechi za CHAN. Kuna wakati Mkenya mmoja aliweka bendera la Kenya chini. Hakuna mtu yote alikanyaga hiyo bendera. Kila mtu alikuwa anapatia heshima zake akipita kando. Juu tunaelewa maana ya bendera. Na wakati wowote bendera inaposhushwa chini, kila msee anafaa apatie bendera heshima kwa kusimama. Ya mwisho, unapata wakati sisi vijana tulienda kuandamana kupinga serikali mbaya. Kila msee walikuwa na bendera ya Kenya. Na sababu ilikuwa ya kwamba kama kuna bendera ya Kenya, unatetea nchi yako kwa jumla. Unatetea watu, unatetea mazingira, na unatetea wale mashujaa. Sasa wakati unatetea nchi yako, hakuna askari yote ameruhusiwa kupiga yule raia ambaye anatetea nchi yake. Kazi yake ni kumpatia usalama. Alafu unapata hata wale wenzetu ambao walipigwa na risasi hapo katika maandamano, wengi wao wali wrapped na ile bendera yetu ya Kenya, kuonyesha ishara ya kwamba huyu ni shujaa, amekufa wakati tunatetea wananchi. Sasa sisi vile nimesema umepeana maoni pana, juu unapata pengine unapata kuna nchi zingine pengine walipata hiyo bendera yao kupitia, niseme tu, hawana historia kali kama sisi. Pengine walipata bendera yao iko na rangi moja, na inaonyesha kwamba maybe wao ni watu the same people. So ningependa kusema tu ya kwamba sisi kama wananchi tunajua maana ya bendera kuanzia tuko watoto, tulifundishwa kila mtu. Sasa tunafaa wakati tunazungumza nao marafiki zetu au majirani, tunafaa tu kuonyesha kwamba hatuna haja yote na Kenya wanafanya, lakini wajue ya kwamba kile ambayo haina maana kwao, sisi aswa iko na maana kwetu.
Miguda, mi nakubaliana na wewe kwa kweli. Unajua bandera hilo ni kitambaa, labda kwao unasema kwamba haina maana, lakini sisi kwetu iko na maana kubwa sana. Ndio maana hatukukuwa na hatukusikia, mimi mwenyewe sikusikia vizuri nikiona bandera ilikuwa inafanywa vile, na labda siku moja, labda tuseme kama anajua serikali ya Kenya labda itazungumza na serikali ya nchi jirani ili labda wasipatiwe adhabu, lakini wapatiwe mafunzo, kwamba kueleza kwamba lazima uheshimu bandera la nchi fulani, kwa sababu labda wewe hauna maana. Ndugu yangu, habari gani?
Bwana Benson, jambo.
Uko vizuri?
Na niko salama kabisa, nikiwa nasaa kusalimia brother Miguda hapo. Nataka kuhusu kuuliza, sijaona Gypsy Corner amepotelea wapi?
Gypsy Corner amepotea. Today ndajaribu ni reach out through, nimtumie text nimuulize kama ako sawa au actually like today ndio nilikuwa nataka kungoja nione kama atatokea. Like immediately after this show I will reach out and see if is okay, and from there. Joseph, we were just talking about, there was a video that was going viral on the internet about two citizens of Somali. They were disrespecting our flag, so we felt maybe we can give our opinion on it, because maybe sometimes they don't understand that flag. That's why they are doing like that. Maybe your opinion before we go into the main discussion of today.
Yes, thank you for that question. And for me, the comment that I'll make here is my own comment, is not of this show. And it will be very delicate comment that I'll make. But I've just left from watching Trump talking in the UN. Right now, he was talking about issues in the UN. And one thing that fascinated me, what is truly transpiring, is that we have immigrants who have come to Kenya, what is happening in the US, but they don't respect our country. That is what is happening. It's just pure that. People have come in our country. We have given them safe space to stay here, but in return, they are disrespecting us by showing us they can step on our flag. It is I've never even, for me as a Kenyan, I've never even tried to take anything like the flag or the coat of arm or anything for granted, because as a patriot and as a Kenyan, I know what it really takes to be a Kenyan. People shed their blood for this. No, we were not given this one for free. People shed their blood for this, and some lost their lives. So it is very unfortunate. You can see, I was reading some comments, people saying that it's just a piece of cloth. But my brother, a flag is a symbol of a statehood, that you are a country. And when you go anywhere, when you raise that flag, it shows that you are a person from a certain country. So when you say that is just a piece of cloth, why don't you even, if it is just a piece of cloth, also you can go and throw all your clothes that are there in your drawer and say you'll stay like that. If it's just a piece of cloth, it is very, very. That video, I felt very angry, and it is very wrong. It is very wrong from the perspective. I heard you giving them some slack that they need to be educated. Why were they not stepping on the Somali flag? I think Somali was the one which was defeated by Police FC. Why were they not stepping on the Somali flag? It's very uncouth, and that is what has led to this. We have let people come in our country. We have helped them. When they are full, ni kama vile unaweza invite mtu kwa nyumba yako, umpatie chakula, umvishe, alafu baadaye akuje upate amechoma nyumba. It is very wrong. It is very wrong, and that is my opinion, and it's not this show's opinion, it's mine, and I felt very bad.
Okay, thank you. At Miguda, this is what Laban says. At Miguda, we want to be genuine, and for respect, we must not use our flag while involving ourselves in criminal and including violent protest. That is what Laban says. At Brother Benson, Brother Ben, those should be taken like any other criminals. What is Judith Kawitha say? They disrespected the whole nation. Okay, thank you so much for your comments. And gentlemen, thank you also so much for coming up. You know that this one we usually do it at least for 1 hour, 30 minutes. If Makobura will be able to make it on time, then he will have to continue with the show. But like to me, I think by around 7:30, hopefully, we will be out of and we'll be out of here. But we have something that we have to discuss, and this is you know, uh, I want to start with opposition because like there's a video that I've seen, or not a video but a photo that I've seen, especially Gunjiri Wambogo. Remember Gunjiri Wambogo used to be MP for the former MP for Nyeri town, I think. Before impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua, I think he was an advisor to Rigathi Gachagua when he was still the president. I might be wrong. And for immediately after the impeachment, he decided to take a new leaf, especially in politics, because you know that's how politics usually happens. And today I saw a photo. I don't know whether it was a Photoshop or it is true. Him, Jeremiah Kioni, and Matiang'i, and people are asking, "Hey, is this really opposition or what is happening?" Maybe very quick, Mr. Joseph. What is happening? Are the opposition really united?
Thank you for that. I thought Biguda was taking it first, so it is me.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Then Biguda will come.
I can take it, no problem. Yeah, I saw that picture. Picture sends mixed signals.
Yeah.
If you see somebody taking a picture, is a mercy to send mixed signals. You know, everybody always say Kenyans. You know, they always fill the gaps for themselves even before they are told anything.
Yeah.
But I think Matiang'i, they were holding a meeting because they have a Jubilee. They have a Jubilee party which is coming
on Friday.
So I think they are still discussing about that. I think Matiang'i is still considering maybe he's going to enter Jubilee and be a running mate from that. So I don't clearly know what's the game plan, but we are going to see. I told you these alignments and they are going to start forming, and people are going to leave others, and others are going to join others. That is what is happening. So you see in Matiang'i with Akina Kioni, I think there is something that is cooking there, but we are going to see as time goes by. After the Jubilee, what do we call? After the Jubilee delegation meeting is when
on
we are
Friday.
Going to, on Friday we are going to know Mbivuna Beach.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm seeing Ayaga. Ayaga, kindly check your number. If you still have your number, please kindly check your number really quick. I think so. Thank you so much, Miguda. What do you have to say about the photo, or you did not see it?
Brother Benson, I never watch it, but I can just give it a very slight, real quick, because we have explained to me, but I never watched that. I can just say it is not united until that time we have decided on the candidate. That's what I can just do.
Okay, so that's when the opposition will be united. Brother Ben, Ayaga, please come and plump the wisdom that we all share. Okay, Ayaga angalia kabisa. I think let me share with him link if okay, as I share the link with Ayaga, this is what is happening. Yesterday when ODM had PG, the Right Honorable Prime Minister and the party leader of ODM had a speech, but he had a very lengthy speech, and there are so many things that he really said in that speech. And to start with, let me just give you a preview of some of the things that I captured on the street. On the speech, one of them was Baba reminded people the reason why he joined the broad-based government. He talked about the issue of military. Baba also talked about the 2027 general election. He also talked about the multi-party democracy. That's some of the things that he mentioned. So those are the things that I really picked. So we'll have to discuss them and look at what could be the reason. Does it mean that the pact that they've signed with President William Ruto they're not going to support Ruto in 2027, then if that one is not, or if they are running, why is it coming at this time in the moment? So to begin with you, Mr. Migoda, to ask you, first of all, in your own view, when you watch the speech that was made by the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, what picture did you derive that, or what picture did it give you? What picture?
I watched the entire clip, and I can just say I tried to listen to him keenly, and I was able to find out 3 points. One, I was able to find out the issue of military. I was also able to find out the issue of 2027. And lastly, I was also able to find the issue of party politics.
Yeah.
But I just want to focus on the 27 and the military. When Raila Odinga spoke, Raila Odinga sometimes he decides to say what he must say because he will say it, whether you like it or not. But there have been certain mixed up, I can say, or more of a confusion. Because the real position is not well stated by the party leader.
Yep.
But the reality part of it is that the ODM is in government. But there's another wing insisting, even the party leader, that they are not in government. And when he talks about the issue of military, that he came in because of military takeover informally, he said that they came in informally initially, then they later formalized the relationship. If that could be the case, that they came in as a result of military takeover, but I have an issue, and I tend to disagree with the party leader Raila Odinga, which I'm entitled to.
Yeah.
If at all the issue of military brought them together, up to the extent when people demonstrated and military came in, the CS for defense was very unequivocal that there was a parliamentary approval for military to come in to salvage the situation.
Yeah.
But there was no command from the CDF that they must take action. And also from the events, the following day, I was in town. When people breach parliament, the following day I was heading to Naivasha. So I was in town. I woke up around, I think 6:50. I was on traffic going to town. So when I reached town, everybody was already working. It was a normal day. And but I followed Mombasa Road, so I took Uhuru Highway. Then I was dropped on University Way, so that I can find myself back to the street. But because there was a presence of military in Parliament building, so this roundabout in this Nyayo roundabout was not accessible. Even Parliament building was blocked with those Kifaru and the military. By that time, there was presence of military in town. I agree with Raila Odinga. But after that time, there was no takeover. And there was no any indication that, because people already have retreated, that the mission was impossible, they abandoned it. So after it was abandoned, so there was just daily demonstration, but there was no military takeover. So if there was an intent from the military, that the military, the way there was an intent, I don't know whether it was an intent or not, from people like Traore, there was an intent from the late Wachuka and the team, whereby the military walked into the case Kenya Broadcasting and also compel Botella to declare to the public that the military has taken over and each and every police officer to be civilian. And from now henceforth, Moi was no longer the president, and the person was Ezekiel Chuka speak to the public. I think that one, we could argue that, okay, there was an intent from the barracks and from the military that they were taking over. But this, there was approval from parliament to allow them to come in to salvage the situation. So in my view, I don't think that there was military takeover. Lastly, the issue of the issue of 2027, I want to say 2027, in my view, that one, it is their discretion. We can't decide for them. If they have decided to work with Ruto, that is their discretion. So let them work with Ruto. They are at liberty. They have that freedom of association. And if they decided to salvage the current regime, then they bolt out at 11th hour. Yeah. There is also no restriction to them to bolt out. They can as well bolt out. And also, there should be no any argument that because they salvage William 27, then when they want to make coalition with other people like, to say, Kalonzo Musyoka, Rigathi Gachagua, or the United Opposition, now people will say, like, you are not supposed to be here. I think we are supposed to be flexible, the political parties, because you can that freedom of association and the political right we have in the constitution that allow us to be flexible. So I think that even if Raila is holding a wild card, it is good, because the nature of our politics, you don't need to be predictable. That one can say. You just need to hold your card up last time, because you understand, even right now, Ruto is looking for Kalonzo. So I can just say the PG was clear on why they were in the broad-based government, but you are at liberty to differ with the remarks of Prime Minister. And also, there was number 2, the future for ODM.
Okay, so all right, thank you so much. We were looking okay, he was talking referring into future so that ODM can remain strong. But I want to come to you, Joseph, and this is what I got from the Right Honorable Prime Minister when he was giving this. He said, like, I would paraphrase, not exactly what he said, but this is what I picked and put a summary on it. And they say that the resolution, there's something here. So this is what he says. Okay, let me come. His move to join was not for selfish strategic, but it's like his move to join the broad-based government, especially to support President William Ruto, was strategic decision. Yeah, to protect the country democracy and stability. And this is what he says: if the military could have taken over the multi-party democracy could have been undermined. Okay, I agree that that was a good move, especially it was strategic and that. But Mr. Joseph, when you look at if the military could have taken over, we are talking about democracy could have been undermined. But now you're also taking a situation whereby now the opposition has joined the government and they're working together. So when you look at the democracy, do you feel the one for the democracy, especially to the military, and the one joining the government, so which one has really made the democracy to expand, especially of strictly the multi-party democracy? If you're looking, if maybe we are comparing the strategic decision that he took, and this was to stop the military from taking over, and this one is going to protect the democracy of multipartyism, and also then working with the government, and now they're in the government. Is that one enabling the democracy of the multipartyism?
Thank you for that question, but I want to pick it up by saying that there was no army that was going to take over Kenya. That's just a fallacy that they brought so that they can be able to unite. Because in first instance, who brought the army to the Nairobi CBD? I think the president is the one who brought the army to the Nairobi CBD. We saw him saying that they are going to deploy the army and they are going to come, I don't know, to safeguard what was only done. I think the only thing that was done was only the parliament that was broken into. I don't think Ruto stays in parliament. I think his residence is always State House. So they did not go for State House. They had gone for parliament. And they had gone to parliament because of certain things that the parliament had done. They had refused to hear the people's cry. They had, we are talking about democracy. And I remember that people had vehemently refused about the idea of taxation in the 2024 finance bill. People had brought their petition in the so-called public participations, and the majority of the people had said that bill should be dropped. So people going to voice their voice in parliament is because they were angry with the legislatures that they have voted for. The people are the ones who have voted for these people to talk on their behalf. And we did not have an IBC body that could have told us that we can take matters into our own hands and recall the MPs. So what could have the citizens done? We were met at a crossroad. Is either we decide between going and demonstrating or keeping quiet, and these guys bringing all the taxes. So there was no takeover that was happening. I think the only takeover was at the time of Moi, when the army took over. And also the question is, how will the people take over the government when you have all lined up police who are ready to shoot and kill anybody, and the citizens are just coming with a handkerchief and a bottle of water? What takeover was there? You know, some things they really baffle me. And also, to top it up, who went to parliament to employ KDF forces in the streets? It's not the people. It is the administration that is in power. They're the ones who brought the KDF into the streets. Then, okay, you say that you are talking about the interest of the Kenyans. Why did we have the interest of only few individuals who are brought to cabinet slots? People had clearly said these people are not able, the Kenyans had said that the cabinet secretaries who are there, they are not able to fulfill the conditions that the Kenyans wanted. And he did it. Also, he also Ruto did it and knew, and said that these CSs have failed in their jobs. Why did he return most of the CSs in the parliament? Why did he in the cabinet secretaries? Why did he return them? Then, to top it up, why did he take the opposition? If this was all about democracy, why did he have to take opposition? I think he had said before in his speeches that he wants a strong opposition. Why did he have to go and poach opposition leaders so that he can bring them into parliament? So after that, after all that hula baloo, what happened? We had a cycle of things that happened after that. We had a cycle of a place where he went and he impeached his own deputy, and he impeached some of the CSs who are there. So he brought in some new people who are from the opposition. Right now, the opposition, there is no opposition. The opposition that has been left is the people who left the government. They are the ones who are now opposing. The real oppositions and the leaders of opposition who are there, the likes of Akina Wandai, they are now in the government. So I don't know what kind of democracy which was brought. There is no anything that democracy was being fought there. I think it's only interest of two individuals that converged at a particular time, when the president saw that he cannot be able to make inroads because people are angry at him. So when you see your popularity and the anger of the people against you, you try to look for means so that you can be able to survive. So he just brought this friendship for survival. That's why you can hear Raila saying that they are going to put a candidate on 2027, because it was only for the survival of them as a big wigs, as we say, of politics.
Okay, and you know, when I think, like, also maybe we need also to look at the history of multi-party democracy. When you look at the history of multi-party democracy, this was the time when we were allowed to have so many parties that should participate in the governance of the country or the political processes. And you know, when we usually go to election, what usually happens is that immediately the elections are over and the winner is declared, the administration that is coming is given the sole mandate to take care of the country. I agree with him at some point that, okay, he came in and he wanted to destabilize the country for the president. That was okay. But you know, where sometimes people raise the question is, there were so many Kenyans who are not politically affiliated, of great professional and of great profession, or especially they could have been given an opportunity to serve in those portfolios so that it could not be seen as political, because like they were the experts. So that is also something that also it takes place. But now, Miguda, let me ask you something that you know, for quite some time now, we've seen always when the Right Honorable Prime Minister get a platform, especially to interact with the public, he has to mention the reason why he joined the government. 1 year later, he's still mentioning that. Why do you think that one is so? Does it mean that it is not sinking, or people are not understanding him, or why is it that he keeps on? It's something that I don't know whether my observation is wrong, but like I've always seen that every time the Right Honorable Prime Minister get a platform where he interact with the population or the nation, he has to give the reason why he joined the president, giving the same reason. Why do you think one saw Mr. Miguda?
The people, Raila Odinga has been the face of change.
Yeah.
Raila Odinga has been the face of the people. Leave alone the issue of Raila Odinga being a leader of ODM or Luo or Coast or Western. There are people who usually have opposed governments before, and there are people who have voted for him across the country. So he got a very significant followers, which is spread across the country. Even in Mount Kenya, there are people, he has been getting votes in Mount Kenya. So those people believes in him. Those people believe in good governance. Those people believes in inclusivity. Those people believe in social justice. All these things he has been preaching for a quite long time. When you see people not persuaded with the hopes of Raila Odinga, it is because these people understands him very well that Raila can never do this. Because what happened? Raila has been even for a quite time opposing with him in Musumkati. And there are things that he can't allow because himself is a victim of such things. For instance, police brutality is a victim. And also things like detention without trial is a victim. He was detained unconstitutional without trial. And his supporters has been killed and maimed by police officers. His supporters has been abducted, including members of parliament has been arrested. People like Wandai were arrested. People like Babu were arrested. So this is a person who has been facing the wrath of the government. Then suddenly, the same government committed some atrocities to him. Then suddenly, there was that rejection of finance bill, including him, instructed the members of parliament from ODM, and that's why they voted no. How was it now him coming to the government and saying their done is good? So, it's like it was not making sense. That's my opinion. I'm entitled to. So when it was not making sense to his supporters, people were like, Baba, is this your true color? And people have been saying, okay, Baba betrayed us. People have been saying, not me, Baba betrayed us, Baba conned us. It is all over the social media. People have been saying, me, I don't know how he conned them or how he betrayed them, but that is the public domain. Having said that, you find out that after all these events, supporters are not persuaded that the position of Raila Odinga. And Raila Odinga now, he has found himself between a rock and other place, because I want to explain this one. There was a pressure from experts that they must join government. And now this is the reality which people don't want us talked about. Brother Benson, look at John Mbadi, Opiyo Wandayi. Actually, they are seniors in that house.
Yes.
And what do you expect them next, if not governors? They were supposed to be CS. Joe and Opara already have exhausted all their elective seats, according to Sifuna, and I want to quote him, that the experts have already exhausted all the elective seats. What do you expect them to do? To be CS, because they have done their 2 terms. Now, these people are close allies to Raila Odinga. If they have pressure Raila Odinga, maybe through Oburu Odinga or through Junet, you never know. So Raila Odinga has to, and also remember this detail which I will not talk about it here. There's also issue of taxation.
Yeah.
And someone was proposed by president to take certain role, and someone was going to remain in parliament. Now, because of succession, he was also told go to cabinet. There is silent succession happening in Nyanza. That one we will discuss later. So you find out people like Tifona or other people also knew very well that we could not stand out police brutality.
Yeah.
We could not stand out all these atrocities. Then what has happened? Really? So you must understand, Raila, that there was a pressure from two factors. There was some people who already wanted to join government. And not that these things we are saying here, even Karoli Omoni confirmed to us that Ruto told them, there are people who have been seeing me at night in State House. But if you come at daytime, they're the first people to criticize you. So this normal. They were here last night. You are here today. So I want to say the whole thing to me is that the fans are not persuaded with the decision.
Yeah.
The party is trying to make it look like it's giving reason that no, this is not the push of the party, but because of 1, 2, 3, that's why we are here. If there could be no 1, 2, 3, we could be in our position. So I think it's now struggling. Because how do you spend a year explaining to the people that you are in government? I think people must understand from the point whereby there were pressure from experts, and they were intended to join government. So Raila was caught between a catch-22.
All right.
And he had to submit because these people have been loyal to him. He's soldiers.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Miguda. Joseph, to you, because we are seeing this consistency, especially with the Right Honorable Prime Minister, whenever he get a platform whereby interacting with the whole nation, he will try to justify the reason why he joined the government. One of them being mentioning the military, 2, talking about the stabilizing of the government, then 3, the reason even why the experts were donated. Does it mean that there's a section of or a section of his base that has still not convinced, compared it to how it happened during the handshake between him and Uhuru Kenyatta? That did not even take, it was a one day or a 1 hour, is it like a minute when they shook hands before the Harambee House, and that's how it was accepted. And people are saying, oh, we did not believe that it can happen, and Baba did not have to explain himself further than that, But now this one, each and every time you see he comes into public, he keeps on doing that. What is happening?
Yes, thank you. I think what is happening is that they are not popular with the president. They have become unpopular because I voted for Raila Odinga, and when I saw him shook hands with William Ruto, it went down, a chill spot went down to my spine. Thinking of the person we were just a few months, we were going to the streets demonstrating about his bad governance. But all of a sudden, this guy, now we are coming to be told now he's good and we can be able to work with him. A person who had just killed people because they had gone to demonstrate. You remember the Sufuria movement? He had just killed people in the Sufuria movement, but then after some few months, we have come to be told then again he's a good person and we should continue with him. That one really got me. And the other thing is, what is really happening is because that effect cannot be felt in the ground. The handshake between him and Ruto was not felt in the ground. People still have the anger in them. Because you see, like yesterday, it was very unfortunate. I heard the right from Honorable Prime Minister talking about Adani. And I felt something very bad going to me, saying, do you know, I read the Adani deal and I read what they were supposed to do with our airport. And they were supposed to they were supposed to take the airport and use it for 30 years. Then after that, they were supposed to be having a share for the rest of their lives. That one really got into me, and I got so much agitated that why must it be Adani? Why must it be that company? Or can we not find another person with a good idea? I heard him talking about Kigali. You know the deal that was made by Kigali between Kigali and Qatar government. They were able to be built. The Qatar government was able to build Kigali a new airport, and they gave them flights. What were we given? What were we be given by Adani? Adani was just to come and build us a section of a runway and try to modernize some small spots, and then they were supposed to be given at least 30 years. You cannot compare between Kigali economy and Kenyan economy. But the deal was not good. It was not a good deal, because if it was a good deal, they could have told us they are going to build a new airport in Konza. You are hearing people telling them, okay, if they want the deal, let them build a new airport in Konza, and they build everything anew, so that we can be able to fund them. But you just come in and say you are going to build a runway and try to renovate. We don't want renovations of JKIA. If it is building the airport, built in a new airport which can be able to host people, because we have been doing this day in, day out. We have been trying to renovate it. We are tired of these renovations. So that's why I was saying that the idea is not good in the ground. People are not taking it kindly. Even if you watch about that Adani thing, you could see people are very angry in the comment sections. So I think that's why he needs to continue talking about this. And that's why you heard him saying that even they are going to front a candidate in 2027. He really knows what is happening. He knows what is happening in the ground. So that is just my take.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Joseph. Mr. Yaga, how are you doing, sir?
I'm good, Bernard. How are you? Long time.
Yeah, I don't know when did I see you last?
Imeka, I think last year. This year we have met, but I think once or twice.
Okay, thank you so much, my brother, for coming up. I'm seeing Judith here is saying, where is Ayaga the Nairobian?
Judith, I'm around.
Okay, thank you so much, Ayaga, for joining. I want to know your perspective, because yesterday the Right Honorable Prime Minister had a PG with the parliamentarians of ODM, and he spoke about so many things, but there are a few things that we picked out of that, especially him explaining himself about the joining of the government for an hour a year. He's still explaining every time we get that. That is one. Secondly, also on how he's giving mixed signals. The other time feels that he's warning those who are supporting or those who are going out, because there's a section of ODM members who have promised to work with President William Ruto beyond 2027, and he was telling them, don't do that until the resolution is reached. And if you look at very carefully, what was being said is almost the same as what Sifuna is saying, but to make it even more confusing, he even talking about, like, let's support the broad-based government to stabilize it. So when you look at all this, it's kind of like confusing. Maybe what you take in everything.
Okay. That speech was brief. I think a very brief speech, less than 30 minutes, is very easy to understand and to consume all the whatever Raila say. What Raila told us is the truth. My friend, if you are in Kenya late last year, when some people were singing revolution, we let military take over. We couldn't be here today discussing election in 2027. At least, even if we have a problem with Raila Odinga, those who are being irritated with Raila Odinga, sometimes let us just accept. Sometimes when Raila gives an explanation, those explanations actually make sense. He started explaining why he was. He joined hand with UDA, never joined government. Raila don't have any title in the government. He's not a prime minister. He's not having any office, so he never joined. Maybe donated people. The problem is the crookness in William Ruto that start brainwashing the people in government to sing a song, and that is what Sifuna have been saying. And I have been telling people, Sifuna is speaking the Raila Odinga's language. And Baba spoke for himself yesterday. And I think even the people like Junet were caught off guard.
Yeah.
People like Joho, people like Mbadi, they were caught off guard. Now people are going back to drawing board. Sifuna have been speaking the Raila Odinga's language all time. Even me, I was wondering, has Raila Odinga told anybody that is going to support William Ruto? I know Raila Odinga himself. I know him. Yeah? He's a kind of a man, if he has something, he will go out and public and make that decision, either bad or good. He will explain to the people. So I think that was a very brief, short speech. Yeah. It ended the confusion that has been in ODM. You know, like some few days we went. Some of us, like me, I went quiet. So people were saying, ODM is divided into two. There are pro-Ruto. No. The ODM only stabilize the government. We stabilize the country, not even the government as well.
Okay.
There is government, which is run by the UDA. Then there is country called Kenya. If you mix two, if you cook two in the same plate, my friend, it will be worse. Sometimes it is good you separate the regime that runs the country called Kenya and Kenya. So what ODM saw, what ODM sees by that time was the stability of a country called Kenya. And that's why they actually went and they were judged, and even still up to now, you can see like my brother Joseph are still making everything that Raila Odinga say as wrong. Yeah, when it comes to PP easy to the project easy, it is true. Adani built those things in Gujarat and is it Gujarat and those places he said in India? Yes, we agree. But the crooks who brought them to Kenya eat a lot of money. And that was wrong. So Raila Odinga did not want to indulge himself into government. He was just telling people, giving example. Sometimes we have to accept. He gave the example of Kigali. He said Kigali got a Qatar company that is going to do an airport. So what we need to do in Kenya and look for, let us forget Adani or other things and the past stories. Let us look for another company that will bring his money, invest in this airport, in the so-called modern airport, and give the airport for 30 years. They will never carry the airport. They will leave airport here. So what will be for us, we have an international presentable airport. So people should not just look, for example, that Raila mentioned Adani, that. Yes, Adani was brought by crooks. It is the crooks from Kenya, not from India. It is the crooks from Kenya. That is what these people don't want to say. It is the crooks from this country who outsourced too much money from Adani. And that thing became a scandal. Yes, Adani PR are scandalous, but it is only scandalous who looks for scandalous.
But let me just ask you, Mr. Yaga, because we agree with what we are saying, because everyone is entitled to their opinion here. But now, it is 1 year. Yeah, we already in 1 year, and he has been explaining it to us every time, explaining why so much continuously. Does it mean that there are people who still do not understand, or there's that dissatisfaction from some quarters of his base that still need to understand what he's saying?
Yes, true. Because even me, I kept quiet because I was a little bit confused. Because for me, going to support William Ruto was a no-go zone. I just want to speak my heart. Even me, I mean, ODM, yes. But going towards Ruto, it was going to be hard to sell William Ruto for me. Not even me alone, many people in ODM. So when Raila explained that, now we are getting that from Raila himself. At least it makes some of us comfortable. Because what the pro-Ruto was now trying to threaten us, we will chase the phone out of the party, we will chase people who are not singing totem. And now what we are just asking them, who told you? Who told you? Now Raila must explain. Even I think he needs to do more in Mombasa to diffuse this confusion. We donated the experts to the government to stabilize the country. not to go and seek Ruto 2-term. That is a crime in ODM, and for some of us tutapambana na wale ambao wanasema hivyo.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Yaga. This is a conversation that we will continue with, but like now, before I brought in Migoda, because I want to know your view, especially when it comes to democracy. Especially we're looking at the multi-party democracy, and this is still tied to the military, that he said that, okay, that's why I came, because he felt that was a very strategic decision to take, and with that, it was not going to kill democracy. But now when you look at where we are right now, especially even when you come to the parliament, because even in the parliament, we have checks and balances in the parliament itself, because we know for a fact that when you have a post coalition, which is maybe ODM have not done with the UDA, there are some committees that are in parliament that actually they're not supposed to have, like public accounts committee, because like you're working with the government, this one should go to the minority, you know, and that one betrays the spirit of multipartyism. Do you agree with that?
What we have in Kenya is the presidential system of governance. So we don't have opposition. So there is no committee, there is no law that gagging anybody from any party of chairing any committee. No, unless if that law exists, I hope you can just quote for me that law that say this one must be for the minority. And by the way, who is minority and who is the majority? You know, that is even debate.
Okay, just hold it there. You are asking about the minority and the majority. Remember the ruling that was done. Yeah, the ruling that was done recently by the High Court. The majority were the Azimio, because from the voting that was done, they had quite a number of members of parliament, and that was a ruling that was made that the Azimio should be the majority. And from there, you can remember even Junet Mohammed, when that ruling was done, Junet Mohammed went and took the seat that was supposed to be occupied by Kimani Ichung'wah. Remember what happened in parliament? Why were they doing that if that is not a law in the parliament?
I think this you can look this for different angle. You know, those are the problem that we came to face later, mid last year in 2024. Because when this administration was elected, Ruto tried to destabilize and hijack the democracy from the word go, using this man called Moses Masika Wetangula. And I remember one day I was here with my brother Barack, and I said Moses Masika Wetangula is the worst speaker. And Barack was defending. Those are the things that led to what you saw in last year June. So if the government makes a mistake because you are in power, you poach MP, that's a mistake. Yeah. When the register of political party tells you that the majority is Azimio, speaker do not run any election. It is the IBC. We have the election bodies, IBC, we have the court, and we have the register of political party. Those are the people who can tell who is the majority and who is not. It is not the president and the speaker to decide which side is the majority and which side is the minority. So yes, there is a law. There are some law. There are some laws.
Don't be economical with the truth, brother.
Yeah.
Don't be economical. You are very economical with the truth.
How?
You cannot tell me that you cannot know that the president or any other politician cannot know immediately after voting that we are the majority, that you wait for the courts to tell you. Surely. Do you want
what
to say
I'm
that?
saying is this? What I'm saying is, it is not the business of the president and the speaker to tell the country who is the majority and who is the minority. There are bodies that are mandated of running election, that immediately election is announced. It is the IEBC through the gazettement that will say this party or coalition has the majority numbers. And that was Azimio, who they overturned it, but through Wetangula. Court only came later. Yes, they overturned it through Wetangula.
My brother, today,
yeah. Leo, it is Wetangula through the advice of the president. After poaching the UDM and few people like David Ochieng, MDG, and the rest, that declared that UDA coalition or Kenya Kwanza coalition is the majority.
Okay.
But the IBC said a different thing.
Okay. Yeah. Ayaga, thank you so much. I will have to engage you. Miguda, thank you so much, Makubura, for coming in. And maybe Miguda, you can at least maybe share with us your view. I know we've gone a little bit out of the topic, but it is quite much interesting of how Ayaga puts it, especially when it comes to the minority and the majority and some of the committees that should be. And it has always been a norm in the parliament, not even ever since the history of the democracy of parliamentarians. I mean, not parliamentarians, but ever since the democracy of the parliament, we always know that there are some committees that the government especially should not have or should not hold, especially if you're working with the government, because they're the people who are doing the budgeting, and you have to be put on check. That checks and the balances, even in the parliament, those are the historical, and they've been there ever since. Ayaga just decided not to accept that, but they've been there. Miguda, what is your take when we talk about some of the committees that are being held by the opposition, such as PAC, Public Accounts Committee?
Of course, we understand that it is a minority, not opposition. That one we understand very well, and it is in parliament. It is in parliament, but under that parliamentary structure, there are some committees like you have cited, PAC and PIC, even PIC, Public Investment Committee, Public Account Committee. These are reserved to the minority party, the same way minority leader, whip are reserved for the minority party. Reason being, they are mandated roles in that assembly to carry out in oversighting the administration. They have a duty actually in the constitution to do. Not that they are just there by default, but they are mandated, just like speaker, they are also mandated to do a certain role.
Yeah.
And when you talked about those like the budget chair in the budget chair in the National Assembly, the reason why it was intended for the majority party, because presumably the majority of party do form government. So when they form government, the president sits at the executive. So when the proposals come from the executive, the way it is, you can argue that budget should be made in parliament, but the proposals is coming from the state house, from the executive president. The majority party in parliament do chair the budget committee. The majority party parliament do chair the finance committee. And that's why we end up with the majority leader and the whip. And the majority leader usually is the person who propose a bill to the house, or introduce a bill to the house for debate or discussion. Not the other way around.
Yeah.
That is very clear in the constitution, and I agree with that. Ayaga understand that structure very clearly. But Ayaga, there is a reality part of it, which you have to agree, that other than what is there in the constitution, the current arrangement we are having, does it reflect our constitution, or we are outside the context? I think that's where the point is. And in reality, there's a mixed up here. We understand that there is that agreement formally between ODM and UDA to work together.
Yes.
And inside parliament, it is broad, because the chairperson for budget committee is from ODM. they elect a Usonga member of parliament. Inside the parliament, I think it is only that share of budget. That's why it's broader in the parliament. But I think the arrangement does not affect the majority and minority in the parliament as made by Speaker Wetangula. No. And also, I want to join Ayaga to say, and I've said this on me. I was very clear that Wetangula is not neutral. Wetangula is not impartial. Wetangula is not non-partisan. He has taken side in that house. And then when you talk about the issue of now what's happening right now in parliament and the broad-based government arrangement and the reality, to me, the issue of majority, minority, I don't want to talk about opposition, majority and minority. If at all, there is I think the people.
Okay,
can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? I want to conclude by saying, in my view, of course, this is a new dispensation because we haven't find ourselves in this scenario. So because it's a new dispensation, we must look at it with the way it is, according to me, or the way you can look at it, the way you can interpret it. In my own interpretation, if we end up with the collision between political parties, for instance, the ruling regime having a formal arrangement with any political party, what we call post. Benson is called post. The popular one used to say post agreement, post coalition agreement. That's after election.
Yeah.
If that is in place, because it's a new dispensation, therefore the minority should cede those slots to the other party who is not in a formal arrangement with the regime, because you can't be a regime at the same time you are a watchdog to yourself. You can't watch yourself. You can't be a regime watching yourself. That's why it is very important, and Constitution was very clear that minority should reserve those slots. At the same time, purposely was to act as a watchdog, not any other thing else, to the public. So that's why we have been insisting, because there's no reference. You can't say the Constitution said this, or because this is a new dispensation happening. Purposely,
let me
it should be. It's just like what happened between Uhuru and Raila in handshake. Handshake was a new dispensation, so you couldn't argue that because Raila and Uhuru has come to handshake arrangement. What Ruto used to argue previous that it's like a mongrel government. How was he sure that it was a mongrel government? But this was a new dispensation. So to me, I can just say we are dealing with a new dispensation, but we are trying to get reference from the Constitution other than getting the reality as it is.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Mr. Miguda. And you know, I agree with all that you are saying, but like sometimes I find that we are very, very, very economical with the truth. Now, if maybe to get back on what you say, that when you look at in reality, it should be the post election pack, you know, which actually, if it could have happened that the ODM signed it with the UDA, which they're saying that they're not in the government, but they're cooperating, you know, which is quite much different. So they still maintain, or that they still maintain that they are the minority, and that's why they have those. But now, what even makes it more confusing is this: you're talking about the budget chair, which is now right now by Honorable Atandi, and the budget chair, actually, the person who should be the chair of the budget should be somebody from the executive, the party that from the executive. Remember, because like you say, that the budget usually generates from the executive, and he is like the point person in the parliament through that committee to discuss that. And remember, if you have the budget chair, then you still have the committee. Yeah,
Benson. Let me project in this issue.
Yeah.
If you look at those committees,
yeah,
when a party is declared the majority and another one is declared the minority, they always donated members to the committees, those committees.
True.
So suppose the committee has 14 members, you will get even 7, yeah, comes from the majority, and even all 6 comes from minority, and the rest will come from other small parties. Correct?
True. Yes.
Whoever want to be a chairman of that committee must lobby the members. So what always happens? The minority will whip their members to vote for the one from the minority side because they have numbers.
I agree with you. Yeah.
So if the person who even comes from the little party who will donate even 3 members whipped these committee members, he can chair that committee whatever which side he comes from.
I agree.
That's why chairmen of this thing, they are not permanent. It is voted by the members. So the problem is only after because these committees are very vital to the person sitting in State House. Yeah. They always have interest and make decision and always whip at least their majority members to add few members to elect one of their own. Anybody can be elected. Not only somebody from minority. Go and read that law. Anybody.
I agree with you.
Anybody.
I agree. There's nothing that I'm disputing on what you are saying.
Yeah.
But even if you look at those committees, you will find that who are the usually people who usually get the higher number when they're nominating in those committees?
The majority people.
Yeah. So what does that one tell?
The majority. So if the majority gets even 7 and they pick a weaker candidate and a candidate from minority convince his colleagues and he is voted by these 14 members, what happens?
Yeah.
He becomes the chair.
Okay.
Case closed. It is not a permanent.
Yeah, I know.
It is not a mandatory.
It is not, but like when we're looking at our context, the reason why I'm bringing this is that like sometimes what we do even here, we are very selective on, especially when we are coming to debate, we always debate depending on where our interests are, and we are not kind of like looking at it into perspective and look at it, what does the law say? Even if what does the law say, especially now when we come even to the committees that I was telling you, you find that when it favors you, then you will try to support it. When it doesn't, then you will not support it. So that's where the problem is, and we have to agree with that.
Exactly, but there is no specific law that dictates whoever is elected as a chairman of a committee. And if that law was there, I think many Kenyans are very wise. They could have taken a Tandi, then the chairmanship of a Tandi, they could have challenged it in court.
Yeah, for Atandi is okay. Yeah, for Atandi, that one I'm telling you, that is being negotiated. That is being negotiated because I believe even when before the broad-based government was in place, I don't think that Atandi could have gotten that position in the first place. Let us just be realistic.
Now, Benson, let us go to example of a speaker. Yeah. Now you have the majority. So suppose Kenya Kwanza have 200 members, and another coalition or Azimio have 100 members, and then you nominated somebody to be elected as a speaker, and that speaker is not so convincing to the members of parliament, and somebody from minority, let us say Otiato Marende, is elected by the majority of members in parliament. What happens?
That is okay. He becomes the speaker in a scenario whereby the democracy of parliament works. That one I don't deny that, because like when you are vying as a speaker, because you are going to become somebody who is very neutral, you are going to serve both the minority and the majority, and you are going to serve people of Kenya where the democracy works.
Exactly.
But in a situation where we have like this one, whereby they are being negotiated even before people go for election, then that one democracy does not work. Mr. Makobura, come in. Let me continue with Ayaga.
Okay, thank you.
My time is kind of like I have to attend something. Douglas Kibogom, thank you so much for joining. Makobura, thank you also for joining. I had to leave you early. I hope you're good. Uko leo na Nairobian hapa hata tusumbua leo, ameamua kukua could be very economical with the truth. Naona Araga ni two term.
Okay, Ayaga will tell us alibadilika lini na ni kwa nini.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much for finding time to be the host for all that period. Allow me to take this opportunity to acknowledge and to say a big thank you to our good friends. I can see Douglas Kibogong at the comment section. I can see Judith Karuitha at the comment section. Laban Misiani, Eric Ayaga as well is here with us. I can also see Brenda was also here, and everyone who is watching. I want to take this opportunity to welcome you all and to remind you that this is the Benson Media, and here we say that your opinion counts. If you're new to this channel, kindly like and subscribe to the channel. It is a way of us, supporting us, and if you do so, sisi hapa tutasema ni asante. I'm with my good friend Eric Ayaga, together with Mr. Miguda Elon. Yeah, so Eric, kwanza tuambie ni nini ilibadilika? Siku hizi nasikia unaimba nyimbo nyingine tofauti na ile ulikuwa unaimba huko nyuma. What changed?
No,
What
no. Which song was I singing?
I'm getting there.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've seen quite a lot has happened in the field of politics, and we are seeing what we call shifting of goal points, where politicians or political parties are uniting with other political parties, and of course with an aim of joining hands and working together towards the 2027 general election. We've seen quite a lot in terms of zoning, and that is a part of what we had discussed here some few days ago. The question you were asking is whether the zoning that is being done by the political party, whether it encourages democracy or it is doing away with the democracy that Kenya has always boasted of. So my question to you, Eric Ayaga, is as politics is changing in the Republic of Kenya, as we are at a point where political parties are also trying to figure out where they need to belong towards the 2027. What is your take? Are you seeing the so far unity that we've seen among the political parties? Do you think it is one that that is all geared towards solving the issues and the problems that are being faced by the people of Kenya, or what is your take? Do you think they have the interest of the people at heart? And possibly since it's been long, utatuambia pia ni nini inaendelea Nairobi. We are seeing quite a number of politicians coming out, and Sakaja is not finding it easy. But above all, remember, he's getting some support from Raila Amolo Odinga, who most of time we've seen him with him. The likes of Babu Owino, Gakuya, among others, are also on the race. There is a possibility of the first governor of Nairobi also coming back for this particular seat. You will also give us that narration, since you are a Nairobian and you understand the politics of Nairobi. Vizuri. Yes, Eric.
Okay. Well, me, I've never changed. You know what I could not support Number one is a revolution where we will not have a freedom of speech. And I think Raila vindicated me yesterday. I cannot be sitting here support let military take over. Oh, Ruto must go. No, those are songs I cannot sing. I told people Ruto will be there up to 2027. And that is what Baba was talking about. Stability of this nation is more important. You better sleep hungry. You better sleep hungry without food in a peaceful nation than have money in Gaza. You will not enjoy that money. Or have money in Yemen. And even the war is now going to the doorstep of the richest country in the world, Qatar. People have not seen what happened in Qatar in those few days Israel bombed that nation. Many rich people have taken their money out of there and they are running. So peace is very important. It is better you sleep hungry with no war. You will go, work, get small thing, come eat in peace. That was my stand and I still believe. Number two, the zoning, I don't know, but me, I belongs to ODM. The only problem, I belong to the ODM party side, the side that believe that even if, yes, Ruto must go, let us go through an election, 2027 to machine the 2027, but others were seeing otherwise and others were supporting him. So, for me, everything is constant. Zoning, ODM is a very big party, and we are celebrating 20 in few days' time. So for ODM, what I believe, I'm the part of ODM that a river will never join a tributary. It is the tributary that joins the river. If Mr. Taylor, who taught me geography, was right. So we cannot, we can't have ODM as a river joining a tributary, a part of Jubilee UDA party, and the other part has now called itself DCP. So we cannot. That one, we can't. ODM will be ODM. And I told you, I think there is a comment I wrote here. And people start calling me, NIS, maneno za upuzi mwingi. That Raila Odinga will not support William Ruto. And the indications are now being witnessed. I said it here. As much as I'm supporting Ruto to stay in office, for stability of this country, for the peace in this nation, Raila Odinga and ODM will not support him. And I told those people, Raila knows what he's doing. And I think he will explain himself. I don't want to go there. Don't want people to brand me with names. In Nairobi, Sakaja will go. And Raila Odinga will not support him. And I want to explain the position of Sakaja. Sakaja is like a Migori governor. Do you know many people have never calculated what happens in Migori? In Migori, there is a part called Korea. It's very big, a little bit bigger with two constituencies called Korea East and Korea West. Even if Ochila Yako today leave ODM and join another party, nobody will impeach him. It will not be allowed. If that's why Obado survived, and many people will not explain why Obado survived that. Obado was not tough. Obado survived what Sakaja is surviving. What Raila have a problem with the people of Central Kenya. That is fact. It is not something we can hide. It is true. You have that problem with those people. What he asked those MCAs, you are removing Sakaja for who to say it. If they were told Mushiri, he stopped them. That does not mean Raila is supporting Sakaja. That is what happened with Ruto. Ruto must go, then what? Who is coming in? That was the question. You remove Ruto for who to sit. Those are the questions that you look Raila Odinga into the eye and nobody dares to tell him. And that is the truth. There is no intelligence report about it. Raila has problem with the people of Central Kenya. He doesn't want them anywhere near power. And he can compromise anything, anytime to ensure that these people are out of politics.
Can you substantiate whatever you are, the allegations that you're bringing forth?
There is nothing to substantiate. Look the way they dealt with Rigathi Gachagua. If Raila could have hated Ruto more than Gachagua, he could have actually ensured that Ruto is out and Gachagua is in. It didn't. It did the other way around. That fact substantiated. When it comes to Nairobi governor, Raila doesn't love Sakaja. Raila has just hold Sakaja because if the ODM is the majority, many of the MCAs in Nairobi now is aligned to DCP. That's fact. UDA is not in Nairobi now. UDA is out. I don't think even the last MP who was singing UDA is KJ, the Mbunge of Dagoretti South. He has gone quiet. The reason I don't know. So in Nairobi, no UDA MP which is pro UDA, the one that was elected with UDA. So Sakaja was at risk of being impeached. Then if you impeached a governor, the next question arises, which is fact. Who sits after governor is impeached? The deputy governor. That's why even Orengo had a problem. Orengo was sick. People were talking of Orengo resigning, let us impeach Orengo, blah, blah, blah. Then the question arises, who sits? Oduol agrees with ODM and Raila Odinga. That's why all these politics are, that is the truth. That's why they ensure that Nyatieng is well and back in the office. Nobody can impeach him. And these are the factors you look even in Migori. Migori, the Koreans do not always vote for ODM, even their two MPs are UDA. At the presidential election from that region, always go towards the against Raila. That's fact. You can check the data from 2013. Yeah, they only voted for Raila, I think, when Chris Machage there was a negotiation that Chris Machage was given a senator, and I think the Chris Machage was the first senator. And when the Machage Chris lost, they didn't vote for Raila. So the majority of that region, I don't know either their Kambas, decided now let us have even the senatorship. What they have been left with is the only deputy governor post. And that any governor in Migori used that as a security. Because anytime Obado want to be impeached, elders used to sit around and ask themselves, you impeach Obado for who to come in? The people who do not vote for who, wacheni michezo. Na hiyo mchezo ndio iko Nairobi. So I think Sakaja yake imeisha, he knows. But Babu Owino will be the next governor. That one I believe. Once Wanyonyi was in Bungoma, na wanatuangana na Didmas Baraza, Didmas. There is a lot of campaign going on in that region. In fact, Bungoma will be very tough. And Nairobi is also going to be very tough. So in the race of governorship, watch Bungoma and Nairobi. Whoever will sway the heart, because I know ODM, even when they go to negotiate with any party, even if they will work with UDA, the ODM will never did the mistake they did in 2022 of negotiating and leaving UDA governor candidates to a party that is minority like Jubilee. And because it was Polycarp Igathe and Kaloki who was coming from Wiper, they will never do that mistake. They will never. So take it to the bank. Whoever will be governor will come from ODM. And number two, I don't think if Sakaja can win even ODM nomination, because Sakaja has never won any nomination. He was elected. He was nominated. Then given a pass free because he was competing nobody, he became a senator. Then by lack of God, became a governor because ODM supported somebody who was not sellable to the ODM supporters. And that's how Sakaja chipped in. Even me, I voted for him. So I can't regret voting for him. He has done a little work, but Nairobi is also difficult. Let us just speak the truth. Nairobi is a little bit harder when it comes to governor. You can only be a one term. In fact, if you survive one term like Kidero, you're a tough man in Nairobi. Nairobi will always be mid-term or half-term. or half term. Only the brave will survive the one term. It is a very difficult. Na hii kitu ijaanza sahi. Look, even the elections of mayors of Nairobi. The mayors who survive for 10 years, there are very few, even from independence. You can check. It is always 5 years. Sometimes they were being voted out when they say councillors were fighting with the chairs, yeah, midway. So it is a little bit complicated for Nairobi. Even that's why I'm not very comfortable. Babu Owino going for the seat of governor. I think for mine, I advise now, because I've stayed in Nairobi, angekaa hapa kwa Senate, alafu awache Sifuna aribu CV yake huko. It will be very hard for somebody who has been Nairobi governor for 5 years. It is like you are running the country. So you will get hatred very fast and immediately after election. It will destroy your reputation going forward for even a president seat or any other seat after being Nairobi governor. It is very hard, very difficult. That's what I can say, Makubur.
Thank you. Before you leave, Eric, what is your take? There has been some conversations that since the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua came back to the country from the US, his influence and popularity has decreased. And of course, the momentum in which he's been having what we call his campaigns is not as consistent as he used to do before he went to the United States. And then something else is, remember he said that he was coming home to focus on what we call the by-elections. But apparently there is no serious input that we are seeing from him towards the by-election. And again, we are not seeing the consistent unity that they had before he went to the United States of America. What could be the problem? And what is your take on Rigathi Gachagua, the former deputy president, and what he can bring to the table with the politics of, in the politics of the Republic of Kenya?
Okay, thank you. I promised to come to the studio after the Rigathi. I think if you read that comment, I promised to come to studio to explain what happened to Rigathi after his the things they were calling grand return. Rigathi Gachagua hit Raila Odinga. And Rigathi Gachagua, it is not that they personally hate. Even if I say if Raila Odinga hate the central, no, it is not a personally hate. It is politically hate. Yeah. These are two people that are coming from two communities that have never worked for together in politics for a very long time. So there is that suspicion. Rigathi Gachagua will not work. If you know why, how, and the calculation how Ruto will be in power, he will only pit the Rigathi Gachagua and Raila Odinga. If Raila Odinga runs, and Rigathi will run, because Rigathi may fear that Ruto may support Raila, and if Raila becomes the president, things will not work for him. And Raila also fear that if he left Ruto might go and compromise with Rigathi, and there is a little working arrangement that will be a little bit harder. Because in politics, you cannot say never. So someone can work with somebody and somebody can work with somebody. You never know. So this is what happened to Rigathi Gachagua. Every time we have a political turbulence in this country, even with Raila Odinga, United States of America always come in. There is a senator called Tony Cruz. I don't know if I got the name correctly. He's a very young, short aged, middle-aged man with a little bit bald-headed. In election from as early as 2017, this guy has been in the picture. Anytime Kenya have a political turbulence, is the one who creates the handshake between Uhuru And even in 2022 post-election, even with Raila, he was the one who was sent. He's a Democrat. He was the one who was sent. So when the last year, when we have a little bit trouble, they had to call Rigathi Gachagua, and that's where the Rigathi Gachagua made his deal. Let me ask you, all presidential people, even Ruto, before he became president, he was deputy president. He went to America and stayed there for about few days. You have even those clips. Did you see even Raila Odinga? He used to go to America. Even Uhuru Kenyatta, they must go to America. Even other countries. Have you ever seen other people, other presidential candidates, when they go to US? Even the guy who have just beat Chakwera in Malawi, he was there. Did you see the publicity that the American media gave Rigathi Gachagua? Have you ever seen, even William Ruto is in the United States now, I think, if he has not come back. Have you ever seen him walking with a lot of security, even with the police vehicle clearing his way? You have not seen. But you saw it with Rigathi Gachagua. Why? He was being fattening for slaughter. He's ended there. Rigathi Gachagua made a deal. And he was working the intelligence of this country called Kenya and the intelligence of the United States were working together to ensure that Rigathi Gachagua is comfortable. And that made Rigathi Gachagua mess up. He went and released things that should not be released to the public. And that's where he deflated himself, his own wheels. I think one day I will explain. I may not have Polish English to explain it, but one day I will come to explain what I'm saying. Now, when he went there, he was given so much security, so much comfortable, so much publicity, and he did these things. And he went. Remember, there is a case about Al-Shabaab and what? And Sudan. That a certain senator went to Sijui where in US when Rigathi Gachagua was there, and he say he's ready to give the evidence. It was in papers. That's where he messed. He has messed the country. That's why when he came back, he wanted to came back with the Raila Odinga of 2017, yeah? Baba while you are away, or the Kenneth Matiba of 1992. I was laughing because I knew his coming back will be so diffused that he will not go even address people. And to my senses, I don't get any information from anywhere, but to my senses, that is what happened. And after that, he has been disillusioned. Even those by-election, I told you here, he will lose them. Oh no, I was in Linjiru when I comment. He might lose Mbeere. He might lose Mbeere. And the Jubilee will go for those by-election of that MCA who died. And they will go so united. Do you know what happened? Do you know why Sonko, and I will add now to the list of Rigathi Gachagua, will not be the president of this country? Nobody trusts them. Even the people in central Kenya, even the likes of Ndindi Nyoro do not trust Rigathi Gachagua. Why? The way he behaved with the power when they were elected. And Ruto also placed Gachagua, fattening him to be slaughtered. So it will be very difficult for him. Yes, he will hoodwink the people from central Kenya, and the majority will go his way. But he will not be a major threat as we now climb to 2027. Take it to the bank. You know, when he became the deputy president, my friend, people disagree politically. There is no worst political disagreement between Jaramogi and Kenyatta. Kenyatta never went for Jaramogi's property. Moi and Jaramogi, and even had Jaramogi's son arrested, detained for 9 years, and even had Jaramogi arrested, house arrest. He never goes for Jaramogi's property. Uhuru Kenyatta disagreed to Kibaki. Almost the country was at a brink of total chaos. Kibaki never go after Raila Odinga's and his family's properties. same to Uhuru Kenyatta, even same to William Ruto. Rigathi Gachagua made a mistake that even the oligarchy of the central Kenya people, leave alone these noisemakers outside there, the oligarchy, the people who run that community, the people who can have money to finance propaganda and everything, are not comfortable with him in power. For now, at least for now, but things change. So that's where I best. When he attacked the Kenyattas, property in Northland, and even sent goons to Mamangina home when he withdrew the security. That was a red line. And even sending goons to Spectrum International. Well, thank God, they also met the soldiers from Raila Odinga's side and solved this situation fairly on the road. So that's alone will tell you that's why there is a lot of sabotage of Rigathi Gachagua. He has political capital, power, but he doesn't have the backers from his region. The backers is the Kikuyu community. You saw how they cobble around Raila, Uhuru Kenyatta, how if they want their son to be in power. And that's why Ndindi Nyoro is very nervous with Irungu Kangata. They are very nervous to join Rigathi Gachagua. Those who have joined him will regret. Very soon, that party, he will have some members, but just like Wiper, not more than 26 from that region. I tell you, take it to the bank. So that slowness is artificial. It is made to happen that way. Na yeye akitagongwa tu mpaka mwisho. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Eric. And maybe Miguda, what is your take on the president is out of the country and is courting global investors in the UK? I mean, in the New York. Is pitching Kenya as Africa's next big investment hub at the US Kenya Business and Investment Roundtable in the New York, where he did highlight Kenya's economic resilience, stable exchange rate according to his explanation, and a booming diaspora remittance, where he also said that Kenya is now the 6th largest economy in Africa, and the Nairobi Securities Exchange was named Africa's best performing bars in 2024. What is your take on all this, Mr. Miguda? And what benefits are Kenya going to get out of this global investors who are being, in this big investment hub, which is happening in the US? Mr. Miguda, you can also give us your take on the reception of Raila's comments or words about the Adani, where we saw the Kenyan Aviation Workers Union accusing him, that is Raila, of reigniting efforts to lease Jomo Kenyatta International Airport to Adani Group, a move, of course, that failed and stirred public debate. Mr. Migura, what is your take?
First, Ayaga, don't leave the studio kindly. Bakobura, today I want to donate to Ayaga my time. You know, I've been listening to him. He's making a very interesting submission. I've been just here listening keenly and following. He has highlighted some very vital things. Like he said first, I just want to highlight two, then I'll just allow him to proceed with the questions. Actually, I'm enjoying listening to him, so let him just proceed. I've donated my time to him. Ayaga, you talked about Nairobi gubernatorial, and in my view, it is very clear, and even Babu said that he just wants one term. He's not interested in 2 terms. And even people like Jalas or Arizala are telling us that Babu anachapa 1 term, then anapanda juu. Jua tujui ni wapi, but that's now the secret. But you understand, he wants just 1 term. And number 2, I agree with you that you said very clearly that when power was tested to a man misbehaved. Like me, I understand that if we can disagree politically, it is in the context. But to an extent, you can even detain me, you can arrest me, you can poison me, you can kill me, you can exile me. But my family, my wife, my kids, my property should not be part and parcel of our disagreement politically. We should disagree on issue-based politics. But to an extent, I know I saw it, but I kept it for myself. The way you said you never want to talk about it, I saw it, and I was like, really, politics, properties. That even if Makubura and me, we are in a disagreement, but if we bring you closer to our association, let me give an example of ourselves. We are you, Ayaga, Makubura, Brother Benson, Joseph, Barak. Then all of a sudden, Ayaga has attacked Makubura's property, and we are in a disagreement with Makubura. We'll come together and say, okay, if you allow him to be the president, he will come for our properties and our families. I remember this thing, some people work for them. So I understand that we, in terms of politics, I've never seen in the history of the world whereby you go after someone's family and property. I remember we are a constitutional democracy state, Kenya, and properties and families, no, it should be man to man and also issue based. So Makubura, just allow me to donate my time to move. Today I want to do listening.
Eric, what is your take on what the president is doing in the United States of America in the business app that is, having a conversation on, and what again is your view on Raila's comments on Adani and the reception that it has gotten from the workers group, Mr. Eric?
Makubura, today I don't follow Ruto. I don't listen to what Ruto does. It is true. You may take it as as awkward or bad thing, but I don't follow. My heart has left Ruto. Whatever he does, I will vote against him. Any ballot that has Ruto and anybody else, I will choose that anybody else. Yeah, I just want to, because Ruto is a serial liar. There are things that you lie too much that even if you are now trying to come to terms with the truth, we don't believe on you. I better speak about Raila and Adani thing. I think Raila gave an example of a PP. PP. I'm not from from procurement side of the world. PPEs, inaitwa PPEs, private, whatever. So he just gave example, and politicians are very wise. Sometimes when people do not talk about you, you make a mistake for them to talk about you. That's how politics is. A politician, people must talk about you. You must be in the headline. You must be the news. You must be a man of the moment. But a moment, sometimes they make a deliberate mistake. And then, because silent is not part of politics. Silent is just part of strategy to make moves in business world and other areas. But in politics, you have to talk. You have to be talked about. If you don't talk, you have to be talked about. You have to do something that people talk about. It is like celebrity, yeah? And that is now what people must know. It is like celebrity. You will see they're creating even an issue scandal for that. The people like I have a friend of mine, Angela person who called Miss Tuango, who made unnecessary zinaitwa kiki na somebody called Omari Nyash. So they're just, so Raila have to create something. Going forward, you will see more Raila. Look at even the body language of Raila yesterday, even the dress code. I think from tomorrow going forward, from yesterday going forward, even post the celebration in Mombasa, people will talk about Raila, and people have to talk about Raila. And that is what the politician, because he placed a lot of things in the table, even the military thing. Nobody is asking because he talked about it at first. And I remember Saipan Tuya, the CS for military, wrote another letter and it was placed on our headline denying that. And Raila placed that ball again to them. They have not, it is now 24 hours. I've not seen them denying, or even the president has ever even denied that the military were only waiting for the instruction. And you heard what Raila said. They were very civil to the population. And you saw it when the military was coming in, people were welcoming them. They never shoot anybody. Those are the facts. They never shoot anybody. They never beat anybody. They were just there. People think when the military come, people will be running. People went, welcome, wakawagotea, wakarudi nyayo. And that's where the truth is. Nobody is discussing about that. People only want to be, because Adani was poisoned. But what Raila is saying, yes, it was poisoned here. But the people who poisoned Adani are Kenyans. Are the people who brought Adani here. Yes, Adani is also a crook, like I was telling Bernard before. He had done some scandal somewhere, but there are work he did before. That is good. So what Raila is saying, we have to look for another. If not Adani, we have to do another company to come and build our airport instead of the East African hub going to Kigali, because Kigali will have the international and the best airport more than the one we have. We need to rush and do that. I think we should look for the positive part of it. Not that the name of Adani is too much poison in Kenya, that if you just mention Adani, now everything stands still. I think people should also look in the different, if not Adani, let us bring another one to do our airport like the way we did the SGR and we did expressway. I think that those projects are the same. Hata hii ya expressway ni wa China bado wanakula pesa huko, sijui ni miaka ngapi, hata hii railway. So we need to bring another company also to make our airport, even if they will stay there for 30 years. So we have a best airport. I think we should look for the positive part of that. We should not just look for Adani because Adani was bad. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. A good friend, Eric Kayaga, and for your comments. Then I don't know whether you've heard of some Nigerian prophet by the name Primate Ayodele. He was actually advising Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua to support a Gen Z, or let me put it this way, to support the Gen Z's preferred candidate in the 2027 general election and abandon his own presidential ambition. I'll give you a chance to give us your take on that and how viable it is and whether it makes sense or not. And then, Eric, you can also give us your take on the university lecturers' strike, which has escalated, and the CS in charge, that is Julius Ogamba, has ordered striking university lecturers to resume work immediately or face what we call disciplinary actions, including contempt of court charges. You will give us your take on that, and not forgetting there was I don't know, I think it's been on news for quite some time, where Kituo cha Sheria had gone to court, to the High Court, to do what we call petition. I mean, they had gone to the court to allow the court to address the issue of fuel prices. And the High Court has actually thrown out that petition by Kituo cha Sheria that sought to compel the IPRA to lower fuel prices. Remember, they were arguing that fuel in Kenya is the most expensive. If you go to Uganda, you go to Rwanda, you'll find that even though the fuel that is being sold in those countries pass through Kenya, in their argument saying, yes.
Marco Buro, let me answer the first question because I have 4 or 5 minutes. Then I will be engaging in another business. So
That's okay then.
The first question was a Nigerian pastor advising Rigji about supporting a Gen Z. It is very good. But I want to give you two answers with these religion things. Do you know somebody called Lazarus Chakwera, the one that has been one termed in Malawi? He used to be a pastor in Buruburu here, next to Buruburu 1. Ukipita Buruburu 1 kidogo, kuna ka place hapo called I have forgotten that name. So he used to be a pastor here in Kenya. When he went there, he would wink pastors around, and they made him the church candidate. And that's how he won the election from Peter Mutharikwa, who was the former president, and now the president again. So I think the election, even the Kenyans, the one we are going to have in 2022, the separation of church and state is very clear. And I don't even think the Vatican influence whoever becomes the prime minister in Italy. We must separate the church. The men of the clothes must be separated with the politics of the country if you want to survive. The problem the president we have here is facing emanates from the church, and we must say the truth. He would wink everybody. He is a godly man who went around and threw verses everywhere carelessly and aimlessly. He would wink the men in cloth, voted for him, convinced the followers that he is a godly chosen man. He will be one term here. So I don't have audacity to advise Rigathi Gachagua politically, but he should block his ears for even his own wife, who is a pastor. And I rest my case. Thank you. Let us meet tomorrow. I will try to come for tomorrow, itakuwa Wednesday or even Thursday. I will be around. Thank you.
Before you leave, Eric, would you kindly briefly give us your take on the lecturers' strike? Kindly before you leave.
Penye niko, I am not privy to Kenyans news. I don't want to lie. That's why I was not even following what Ruto is doing over there. But I don't know. I can't comment on something I've not followed up.
Very well, that's okay. I want to take this opportunity to really say a big thank you to you for finding time to be with us this evening, Brother Eric. Thank you so much. We really appreciate, and I hope that you'll always, whenever you find time, you will always come and join us and possibly give us your take. You don't take it for granted. Thank you so much. Allow me to say, to acknowledge the presence of Calvin's Abur at the comment section. Thank you so much, Calvin's, for finding time to join us. Miguda, maybe your take on the university strike, and if you can also give us your take on what the Nigerian prophet is advising the deputy president to support the Gen Z's preferred candidate in 2027 election and abandon his presidential ambitions. You can as well give us your take on the news that the High Court has thrown out a petition by Kituo cha Sheria that sought to compel IPRA to lower the fuel prices, citing insufficient evidence of constitutional violation. Mr. Migoda, and then after that you can give us your final remarks.
I just want to talk on the issue of strike. The strike was legitimate and the lecturers were very much intent. The students were out of the campus and the demands, grievances have never been met. The only instruction we are getting from the CS for Education is that failure to resume back to classes, they'll face the consequences, measures laid down by the CS, as if those measures could have just been laid down earlier, even if there were no strike. Why are they laying them after we have come to strike? I can say we have the new comrades who are just admitted this month, and also remember other comrades admitted this month. We also have comrades who are actually were supposed to graduate in the, I think, 2 times. So I think lecturer strike is affecting a big population, and it's high time they deal with this problem once and for all, because there have been looming strikes since for every year, I think maybe even a year, twice strike. That is my issue with the government. Other than putting measures to intimidate, threaten, they should ensure that they solve this issue once and for all. My final thought, I just want to appreciate you for hosting us, Brother Benson. I appreciate Joseph, also Mark, Eric Kayaga for coming to the show. Also on the comment section, let me say a big hello to Laban Musiani, who was here when we were beginning, Brenda Obedi, Judith Karitha, Douglas Kibogong, and I think someone like Oscar. We appreciate, and there's people who have not even shared their comment in the comment section. We feel good, appreciate you. See you tomorrow. Bye bye, everybody.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Miguda, for finding time to join us this evening. We really appreciate. And as well to our viewers, I also want to take this opportunity to say a big thank you for everyone who found time to join us this evening. We don't take it for granted. We really, really appreciate. You can see Joseph Maina saying 1 term. Thank you so much, Joseph. And here you say that your opinion counts, and every Kenyan, the constitution is very clear. We are all allowed to have our take, and we are all allowed to have, to give our views based on what we think is right for us and right for the country. And in this channel, what we do focus on is our conversation, of course, which are geared towards the betterment of our country. We are not politically aligned. We are simply giving our views independently. And for that reason, thank you so much, everyone who joined us this evening. This is Brother Benson Media, and here we say that your opinion counts. I want to take this opportunity to wish you all a blessed night, a blessed morning, a blessed afternoon, a blessed evening, blessed day, wherever you're watching us from. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. See you again tomorrow.